Hello and welcome to my Tunisian Stitches collection. I'm Sarah. Today, as anticipated in my previous video, I'd like to show you the beautiful Tunisian Smock Stitch. The Tunisian Smock Stitch is worked on a chain in an even number of stitches, and it is a staggered stitch worked on a 2-row repetition. Here I have already created my foundation row in Tunisian Simple Stitch, starting from a chain of 8. And now I'll show you the stitch pattern right away. So I immediately bring my yarn to the front and back and position it on the hook, and then I keep it in place with my finger like this. And then I insert the hook under the next 2 vertical bars, skipping as usual the vertical bar that's right under the initial loop on the hook. So I insert the hook under these 2 vertical bars together. Yarn over, pull through and up on the hook. Again, I position my yarn on the hook in this special yarn over for this stitch. Keep the yarn in place with my finger and then work into the next 2 stitches together in Tunisian Simple Stitch like this and drop a loop. So now you immediately understand why I need to do this kind of special yarn over for this stitch, because if I were to just insert the hook under 2 loops together, I would keep on progressively decreasing and I would end up with less stitches on the hook as I have initially chained. In fact, in this stitch, in this pattern, we are always going to end up with 1 stitch more on the hook in the forward pass than we have initially chained. So I have chained 8 and I will drop 9 loops on the hook in my forward pass. I'll show you. So again, I do my special yarn over for this stitch, position the yarn on the hook, keep it in place there with my finger and insert the hook under the next 2 vertical bars and close my stitch like this. Now, how many stitches do I have on the hook? 4 and 3 make 7. So I do my special yarn over again, keep the yarn with my finger and do my what I like to call neat closing stitch, that is to say the edge stitch, working under the edge stitch like this, yarn over and drawing up a loop on the hook. In this way I have 9 stitches on the hook. Okay, and now I proceed with a standard return pass by yarning over and pulling through 1 loop only once, and then I yarn over again and pull through 2 loops together until the end of the row. Okay, so now let's see what I have just created. Let's focus on these small V's here I have created. Now we need to do the same in the next row, but as I said, we need to offset these V's. So we are going to create V's here and here. So what we do is we work in the first vertical bar in Simple Stitch like this, and then we repeat our movement for this stitch. That is to say, we do our special yarn over, keep the yarn in place and insert the hook under the next 2 vertical bars. In this case, this one and this one, like this. Sorry. Yarn over, pull through and up on the hook. And again, we repeat the movement with our special yarn over. We work into the next 2 stitches in simple stitch. Okay, we are approaching the end of a forward pass. So let's count the stitches on the hook. We have 2, 4, 6. We need 3 more. So what we do is we do our special yarn over. We work into that second to last vertical bar in Tunisian simple stitch. And now we have 3, 6, 8, and we'll drop our 9th stitch by doing a simple neat closing stitch here. And then we'll do our return pass as usual. Okay. And this was our 2-row repetition. For me, it is always very important not only to count stitches, but also to see every time where my V's need to be formed. So in this case, I am going to form V's here, here, and here. So I'll repeat my previous row, the first one we have created, by doing our yarn over, and we skip this vertical bar and we'll insert the hook under these 2 vertical bars like this, and we'll proceed as usual like this, like this. Let's count stitches. 3, 6, 7, 2 more, so we do our special yarn over and insert the hook under that edge stitch in a neat closing stitch. Okay, and we'll close the row with our standard return pass. So again, take a look at the texture. Where do I need to form my V's? Here and here. So I'll start with a simple stitch in the first vertical bar, skipping this one, and drop a loop from there, and then I'll work the pattern as always. Like this, counting stitches, we have 6, 3 more, so I yarn over and work into that second to last stitch in Tunisian simple stitch, and my 9th loop I'm going to pull up like this. So once you keep going, as you see, the work runs smoothly and automatically in a way. And this is the texture it produces, which is really beautiful and very 3D in my opinion. Another beautiful thing about this stitch is that it is that the work does not curl at all, which is typical in Tunisian crochet, and this is a positive thing. As I mentioned in my previous video on the honeycomb stitch, I think these 2 stitches look pretty similar. So this cushion cover was made in Tunisian honeycomb stitch, and you can see my sample here, the yellow one in Tunisian Smock Stitch. As you see, they are pretty similar. Personally, I like the honeycomb stitch better, but just because I find it easier to to work than the smock stitch. But otherwise, I find them both are really, really amazing. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time with my next Tunisian stitch. Bye bye.